Hey guys, STTM here, and in today's video, we got our second out of third NBA draft big boards. And I also just want to say that I am back from spring break, so you're gonna get your more usual video schedule from now on. So yeah, guys. But before we get into it, make sure you like, subscribe, put on notifications, and comment on the video, as it lets me know what you think, gets me more recommended, and if you put on notifications, you will literally be updated on the latest STTM videos that you do not want to miss. So, enough with the Japanese, and let's get straight into the video. Glip, bow! All right. Number one prospect. I feel like our top three is pretty obvious. Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey. Now, this board is very updated because there actually are a lot of prospects that decided to enter the transfer portal instead of declaring. So there is that. So just like take that in. So like, let's say if you see a name like Yaxel Lendeborg, and you're like, hey, why isn't Yaxel Lendeborg in the top 60? Well, that's because he's at Michigan now, not UAB. So yeah. Top three, pretty obvious list here. I feel like all of them are great prospects. VJ Edgecombe, I still have him at 4. He's a very solid player, a lot of athleticism. Kasparas Jakucionas, let me add his height, which he's 6'6". But yeah, he has a lot of potential, very star-studded kind of guard. He was great at Illinois. I think he can do great in the NBA. Trey Johnson, absolute bucket getter at Texas. Love the offensive game he has. I like how Common Malawak Derek Queen play as bigs. Common Malawak, very traditional style big. Derek Queen is actually, and he's kind of the opposite. He's a very modern day style big. Con Kneppel, I'm kind of glad he declared. I mean, it stinks for Duke, but Con Kneppel, he is not just a shooter. A lot of people say he's just a shooter, but I don't think he's just a shooter. I think he can also score on other levels and even has some like athleticism. And then there's Asa Newell. He's actually not 6'10". He's 6'11". I think he's taller than that. But he's insanely athletic. But Asa Newell, insane athleticism, and even is one of the best shooters in this class. I think he can do a lot in the league. Igor Demon, he's a very versatile player overall, so I feel like I got to throw him here. Ben Saroff, one of the best defensive prospects in the draft, in my opinion. I like Jeremiah Fears a lot as a player. He has a solid overall game. Noah Essengay, I also think he has a very solid overall game too. Jace Richardson, I think he's actually insanely good too. I like Noah and Traore. Colin Murray-Boyles, I do think is undersized, but he is a versatile player. Sheer Fleming, I feel like I should have put above Colin Murray-Boyles because he's practically like a taller version, but he doesn't have the same level of like versatility and some scoring attributes as well. Liam McNeely, I feel like for me is just a shooter, but he might have a couple other stuff. I do like him a lot as a prospect, though. Adele Thero, very solid player overall. I like him a lot. Danny Wolf and Cam Jones, I feel like are pretty reasonable as 21 and 22. Boogie Fland, I think, is a very great prospect. I would put him really high on this list, but he is a little short for his position, so there's that. Nick Clifford, I like him a lot. Very versatile player, amazing shooter. He's also pretty clutch, as we saw in that Maryland-Colorado State March Madness game. Hugo Gonzalez, I like him a lot too. Same with Will Riley. Janai Broom, I would put him higher, but I think the whole Player of the Year case would put him higher, but he did not get that. So yeah. Georgetown's Thomas Sorber, I think, is a very solid player. I do think he's a tad bit overrated, in my opinion, but he's still a very solid prospect. Yohan Behringer, Noah Penda, they're great project players. A lot of potential there for them. I like what they're doing. And that closes off what I think is all going to be the first round, which is the top 30. 31, 32, I feel like I like those two at this position. Very solid prospects overall. We're not too sure about Carter Bryant, but I'm pretty positive LeBaron Filan declared. I think Sergio De La Reyna is going to be in this draft. I know Ryan Kalkbrenner and Miles Bird are. Isaiah Evans is probably going to return, so He's probably not going to be on this list for the third big board. Tyrese Proctor could be the same case with Isaiah Evans. Alex Caravan, I'm not too sure about him. Walter Clayton really emerged himself in March. I like him a lot. He is pretty old for a prospect, but I like him too. One thing I don't like though is Tahad Pettifold's decision to actually go to the draft right away. I feel like he should have gotten his sophomore year in. I don't know, man. I like how Alex Tui declared very underrated prospect, much of a sleeper prospect. Alex Condon, I feel like I would have him higher, but I'm not too sure because he did enter the whole draft process pretty late. Bogoja Markovic, very underrated. Drake Powell, I'm not too sure about him too. I'm really not sure about his draft decision. Maxime Reynaud, he's a very underrated prospect. I like Mark Sears too. Grant Nelson as well. That was a duo at Alabama. I like them a lot. I wish they could have got a championship with Nate Oates, but I'm not too mad about Florida. Dink Pate, not too sure with his decision. I don't think Mario St. Supere is going to be a 2025 prospect, but he is another one of the very solid Spanish players. Nice Spaniard. Chaz Lanier. I feel like I could have him lower, but I like him a lot as a grad student prospect. Kobe Bray, I like him a lot as an older prospect, insane shooter. Michael Ruzic, solid scorer, very traditional for the position. I like him. Cyan James, very solid shooter. I think he's going to be in this draft. Milos Suzan, he declared he was actually balling at Houston, man. Rocco Zakarski, I'm not too sure about his decision either. Kaderi Richmond, great player. So is Joseph Tugler and Hanson Yang. Jackson Robinson is my 59th, and then my 60th is Eric Dixon. Both are very solid scorers. I'm not too sure outside of that about their game overall. Janelle Davis, he just had his final season in college basketball. I think he was a very solid player. He had a very underrated sleeper career. I think he could do a lot in the NBA, actually, despite his draft position. Hunter Sallis, I'm not too sure about him. I mean, he doesn't really have a decision because he's a senior, but I don't think his season has went the way that it wanted to go. Jonas Idu and Nate Biddle, very solid center prospects. I like Andres Stojakovic. I'm not too high on Izan Almanza anymore. Johan Grunlow, very underrated. I do think John Poulakaitis is very underrated, and I think he is definitely a team player, as he has shown at Yale. Baba Miller, very underrated prospect. I do think Coleman Hawkins is quite overrated, and his whole buzz is rubbed off entirely, but I still think he could be a solid UDFA. Sean Padula, I think, has a lot of potential. Man, I like him a lot as a prospect. Mohamed Faye, I like him too. Same with Kwame Evans and Igor Milicic. Malik Lewis, man, I'm really unsure about what's going on with him. I don't know if he's going to declare or not. I really don't know the whole story with him, but I know that he's a draft prospect, so yeah. Clifford Omorowi, I like him a lot too. Very solid player. I'm pretty sure he's going to be in this draft because he really doesn't have any other years of eligibility, but solid player. Matthew Murrell, I think he was supposed to be the big star at Ole Miss, but that whole thing died off. John Blackwell, I think he made a decent decision to declare. Next to him is Kobe Sanders, very versatile player, very underrated prospect. He is a senior. He doesn't stand out too well, but he needs a lot more recognition, in my opinion. The guy is insanely underrated. I feel like only a couple sources have actually recognized him as a prospect, and there should be a lot more than just a couple. So yeah, Javon Small, very solid player. I like Tyen Grant Foster. I'm pretty sure he has to go to the draft because he doesn't have any other eligibility years. Kobe Johnson and Kylan Boswell, I think they're not staying. Amari Williams, I liked him a lot at Kentucky. Very underrated player. I like Josh Hubbard a lot at Mississippi State, but I'm pretty sure he declared early. Same with Ryan Nemhard. Well, actually, Ryan Nemhard doesn't have the other options. Micah Peavy and Chibuzo Agbo are next. Chibuzo Agbo, I don't think his career went the way that he wanted it to be, but he's nonetheless a very solid prospect. I like Ian Shefflin a lot and Samson Johnson. They're solid too. And then next up is Joe Bamisli at VCU. I really don't know if he's actually going to be a draft prospect. Cameron Hildreth, I think this is his only option because I'm pretty sure he's a senior. Don't know if he has another year of eligibility, though, like a fifth year. Don't know if he could become a grad student or a super senior. Bent Lupton, very solid. UC Irvine big. I'm not too sure about his future. Matthew Cleveland, not too sure about him too. Same with Ben Henriquez and pretty much the rest of this board. St. Thomas and Lachlan Ulbrich are my final two prospects. So that was STTM's NBA Draft Big Board. Let me know what you think in the comments. Should I add any prospects? Should I change the order? Did anything happen with withdrawals or declares? Let me know in the comments below, as STTM is now out. See y'all next time. Road to 500 subs!